Picture this. It's 9:30 p.m. on a Saturday in late June, and the Quartier des Spectacles in downtown Montreal has just completely disappeared. I mean, not literally, right? But 30 outdoor stages have completely taken over. You've got 200,000 bodies swaying between Rue Sainte-Catherine and Boulevard de Maisonneuve, and there's this massive brass and piano wall of sound rolling right off the Place des Arts. Welcome to Eventful Canada. This is part of the Eventful World 2026 series by Eventcr, covering 249 destinations where live events define the travel experience. Whether you're a traveler hunting once-in-a-lifetime experiences or an event planner looking for your next destination, Canada has something extraordinary waiting.
Yeah, and that massive wall of sound we just mentioned, that's the Festival International de Jazz de Montreal. It's been completely taking over the city every single summer since 1980. And get this, it legitimately holds the title of the world's largest jazz festival by attendance. If you want to feel the raw sensory energy of an entire city completely given over to music, this is exactly why you book a flight. It's electric. You literally have to experience it live.
And honestly, that's really just the starting point of Canada's signature summer circuit. Look at June. You've got the Canadian Grand Prix drawing Formula One's massive traveling circus directly to Montreal. Then in July, the Festival d'été de Québec brings 300,000 attendees to Quebec City's historic Plains of Abraham for these just massive rock, pop, and electronic acts. Oh, and out west? The Calgary Stampede completely owns 10 full days of July, rightfully billed as the greatest outdoor show on Earth. For travelers, these aren't just dates on a calendar. They're immersive, full-body experiences.
Absolutely. Now, while those massive parties are exactly what experience-seeking travelers want, let's pivot for a second. If you're an event planner or a DMC, here's what makes Canada so incredibly compelling as a hosting destination. The appeal isn't limited to just a few mega festivals. The data actually shows this massive portfolio of 1,464 indexed events spreading across all 15 category classifications. So we're looking at substantial depth at literally every single tier of the market.
Exactly. And those 1,464 events, they're distributed across 195 unique cities. Think about that geographic spread for a second. Canada doesn't just concentrate its event tourism in one single megacity. For association meeting planners and MICE bid committees, this completely changes the procurement conversation. You aren't just looking at one flagship destination, you're tapping into a totally interconnected national circuit. And that incredible depth is directly reflected in Canada's Eventful Readiness Score, which sits at a 75.87. That earns it the Eventful Powerhouse designation from Eventcr. Just to put that into perspective, in the Americas, only the United States scores higher at 92.70, while Brazil follows closely behind at 74.50. But here's the absolutely critical data point for corporate planners who are managing complex global logistics. The risk penalty for Canada is precisely zero. Zero. Let's actually look at the infrastructure backing that up. Canada boasts a highly rated 12-venue convention network. Take the Vancouver Convention Centre right at the edge of Cole Harbour. It features this living green roof sloping toward the North Shore Mountains, and you can see a busy seaplane terminal right through the floor-to-ceiling glass. It is absolutely one of the most photogenic venues on Earth. You've also got the Metro Toronto Convention Centre, the Palais Congrès de Montréal, and Ottawa's Shaw Centre. Factor in major international airport hubs in YYZ, YUL, and YVR. Plus a digital readiness score of 88, the tech and logistics are just beautifully in place.
Right, so let's bring it back to the events themselves, because these aren't just local festivals. They're highly exportable cultural IPs that DMCs and tour operators can package into premium travel products to really drive event tourism. Take Just for Laughs in Montreal. On one hand, it's known as the world's largest comedy festival, drawing these huge, loud, energetic consumer crowds.
Exactly, but simultaneously, it's turned Montreal into the industry's primary talent marketplace, so it's this massive B2B travel product sitting right inside a premium public spectacle.
You see that exact same dual appeal anchoring September with the Toronto International Film Festival, or TIFF. It is undeniably one of the world's most important public film festivals, for sure. But look closely at the crowd there. TIFF brings this incredibly dense concentration of film industry executives, media buyers, and luxury brand decision-makers. The audience density legitimately rivals Cannes.
Then, of course, there's the TED Conference in Vancouver. It's basically a global byword for ideas-driven programming. It's the perfect example of an exportable cultural IP, especially when you consider it's backed by Canada's incredible tech sector and a cultural richness score of 88. Now, looking at the data, it does show a distinct B2B opportunity gap, which is actually fantastic news if you're in the industry. Canada scores 46.13 in strategic world events and 62.64 in event packaging and bundling. Plus, while the summer is incredibly dense with activities, December represents the calendar low. Winter programming like the Carnaval de Quebec and Winterlude in Ottawa are absolutely magical, but they represent a massive, untapped commercial goldmine for broader, multi-day packaging.
And hey, credit where it's due, right? Canada's tourism and culture authorities have actively invested in positioning these events on the global stage. We're talking about Destination Canada, Tourism Toronto, Tourisme Montreal, and Tourism Vancouver. When governments treat event tourism as a national asset, destinations truly transform. And these groups have clearly built the institutional maturity to execute on this flawlessly.
So the big question for the industry audience, the DMCs, the CVBs, and the event planners is this. Look at Canada's 195 event cities. Which event will you package? The potential for multi-day, post-conference itineraries combining Banff, Jasper, or Northern Lights excursions with urban cultural programming offers margin premiums that most North American destinations simply cannot match.
Look, if Canada just moved up your bucket list, it really should. Pick one event, book the flight, and experience it live. Life is way too short for secondhand experiences.
And if you're a DMC, tour operator, CVB, or event planner, EventCR Intelligence maps 249 destinations, their event calendars, venue infrastructure, and tourism readiness scores. We help you identify which events to package, which destinations to pitch, and which cultural IPs to import or export.
Engage EventCR Intelligence at eventcr.com. We turn destination data into commercial opportunity.
The infrastructure is built, the stages are set, and the crowds are already there. The only question is, will your next big breakthrough happen in a boardroom or on the snowy streets of Quebec? This has been Eventful Canada from the Eventful World 2026 series by EventCR. Experience it live.